it is very possible that we finally get one of the most, I don't want to say anticipated, but at least one of my most desired LRs for part 2 of this current Android, Android 16 or just general Android celebration that we're currently going through. There are quite a few options here. I'm going to share with you the things that I think are most likely, but just to make sure we're all on the same page here, Android 16, 17, and 18 are obviously from the Android/Cell Saga, and then we obviously have the banner units, Android 17. Now he's from Super, right? So this tells me that the Part 2 LR, while I did focus more on the Android/Cell Saga, the Part 2 LR could easily be from Super, right? Or it could easily be from the future arc with, Trunks and Gohan as well. Like, doesn't have to be just strictly Android/Cell Saga, because again, the content that we've gotten this specific celebration isn't even directly tailored to, like, the EZA that we got for 19 and Android 20 here, 19 and 0. This is the only unit outside of everything else that we've received so far that is also from the Android/Cell Saga, right? This is from Super, this is from Dead Zone, and then this is this Dead? Yeah. And then this is, again, the future. So this isn't strictly a, Android celebration, or sorry, Android Saga celebration, or Cell Saga celebration, sorry. Just keep that in mind, okay? Now, when it comes to the Carnival characters, Part 2, again, it could also be anything. It could be an Extreme Class character. It could be a Super Class character. Because Android 16 is Extreme, I'm going to go ahead, on a limb and just say Part 2 will be a Super Class unit. Last year, we had a Fusion character for a Carnival. The year before that, we had this Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta. And the year before that, we had this Zamasu right here. So it could be Super Class character, it could be Extreme Class, anything is possible. But again, just to keep in mind that the options, like, it doesn't have to strictly be, oh, it's guaranteed to be Goku, right? It's guaranteed to be a Vegeta. It's guaranteed to be X, Y, and Z. It could literally be anything. These Carnival characters don't discriminate, right? With that out of the way, let's go through everything that I think we could possibly see. Or just, my personal picks on what I want to see, but also I would consider to be at least somewhat realistic. I think all of these except for the last one are going to be Super Class characters. Let me know what else you personally would want to see. But yeah, first things first, I would love to see a Yardrat Goku, LR Yardrat Goku. I think this is one of those units that needs more representation, especially when you consider that this guy, I wasn't watching Dragon Ball Z when it first aired, but I would imagine, we all thought Goku was dead, and then he comes back, and it looks like he perfected it with this outfit, and he's, blocking all of Trunks' sword hit with just one finger. Like, this is a tough moment. Like, this deserves an LR, obviously. And I think he could probably lead Accelerated Battle. I was looking at the rest of his categories here, and I feel like we've gotten decent leads for all of these. And then Accelerated Battle does target a lot of the Daima characters we've been receiving recently, a lot of the manga units as well, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. You have both of the GDC units, not GDC. Well, wait, is this, again, I'm still coming back to Dokkan here. This is, this is July. Yeah, this is GDC. Okay, perfect. Never mind. I thought for some reason these were the September units, but that's obviously not the case. Anyways, so there's obviously a lot of really good and solid options on this category. I think this would be a beneficial introduction or addition to the game. Second pick, I would say, I don't want another copy and paste of this Trunks, but I think a tag Yardrat Goku into Trunks could be really cool. This second pick here, I want to be some combination of Yardrat Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, and Super Saiyan Trunks working together, like in the own, like, dude, if we had these two working in the same card together, both Super Saiyans, the first two Super Saiyans, I think that would be really, really cool. If they were an exchange character, the Goku could be more of like a tank, the way he was tanking the hits from Trunks, and then Trunks could come in when you built up enough or whatever the case may be to just absolutely just demolish. Again, I don't know how the unit itself would work, but I think a Yardrat Goku exchange or tag or whatever you want to call it into Super Saiyan Trunks, the first two Super Saiyans working together in a card, would be absolutely amazing. And I think it's definitely realistic. And one of those units, again, I say this all the time, right? We have a Trunks and a Z Broly card. If that's possible, anything is absolutely possible. Next, and then I think they would lead Android/Cell Saga. They do share like another category too, but I think that's probably just the best one. Looking at these, we don't have like a proper 200% straight up lead for Android/Cell Saga yet, so I think this would be a great choice. Again, I know these guys lead it. I know Trunks gives over 200% for this category, but I'm talking about just a straight up, Carnival, Yellow Coin, LR type lead for this category. We don't have that. Just then, my third pick here would be some form of hyperbolic time chamber version of Goku and Gohan, or just Goku. This version is still considered just Super Saiyan when, in my opinion, there should be like a form, a name to this, so that way this version of Goku could link up with other versions of Super Saiyan Goku, but that's just besides the point. This version of Goku I would love to see, or an actual proper Carnival LR representation of Hyperbolic Time Chamber Goku and Gohan. I don't think that moment should just be encapsulated by this free-to-play card that came out, almost 6 years ago. So, or actually, yeah, over 6 years ago. It's time, right, for us to get a new variation of this. And then you can also extend this to Vegeta as well, since Vegeta trained in there as well. Like, there's a lot they can do with the Hyperbolic Time Chamber training that took place during the Cell Saga. And then not only that, I'd have them either leading Rapid Growth or Heavenly Events. Heavenly Events, not because, it's a category that, it's good or anything, but we need to make this category better. A very, very, very niche category. And so if there's ever an opportunity to buff this category, I think we should definitely take it. So I would personally give this straight up 200% to Heavenly Events. It would make a lot of the Heavenly Events missions in this game a lot easier. And then if they don't go with that, I think Rapid Growth makes a lot of sense because, again, they grew rapidly in preparation for the Cell fight, right? So just keep that in mind. Obviously, Rapid Growth is not only just the better category, but they're going to have more in the next 2-3 years. As Dokkan continues to release characters, more characters will be added to Rapid Growth than Heavenly Events, because, again, Heavenly Events is just such a niche, very, very, very niche category. So my third pick, again, just to recap so far, Yardrat Goku is one, or a Yardrat Goku and Trunks exchange characters would be number 2, and then some form of Hyperbolic Time Chamber Goku, Gohan, or Vegeta would be my third pick. Specifically, like, I would want this character specifically just like Goku. But again, both of them training in a card would be absolutely amazing in my opinion. And then my fourth pick here would be, of course, Bye Guys Goku. Now, here's the thing, right? Bye Guys Goku, I think this would work if they introduced a new, let's call it, mechanic around him, because what he's essentially doing is saving, the Earth, right? So I think they should introduce something in the game where it may not have to be like a new mechanic exactly, but something where Goku comes in to save the team, right? So I was thinking, maybe it could be, I pulled up Super Saiyan 2 Gohan here because my original idea was, hey, what if we have a Bye Guys Goku exchange or revival into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, right? I think bringing back revival would be nice. I don't remember the last revival unit we've had in this game. Maybe, again, dude, it's been so long. So, last character to revive in Dokkan, I don't even know. But that was my first. That's why I pulled Super Saiyan 2 Gohan up. That was my first thing. But now that I think about it, I think it would be really, really cool to have just a like Super Saiyan Gohan. So if I were just to put in Super, I didn't spell. There you go. Saiyan Gohan. If we were just to get a Super Saiyan, so basically like this, right? A Super Saiyan Gohan who did not go Super Saiyan 2, because we just had Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, right, as an LR for the anniversary. So maybe they don't do that again, right? I think that's possible. Instead, just a Super Saiyan Gohan who has an ability where Bye Guy's Goku could also kind of maybe just be in the card. Or, you know, like if let's say you're about to take a KO hit, Goku comes in, he kind of like teleports the enemy away before he performs that attack that's going to KO you. And then he says whatever, and then there's a part of Gohan's kit where it's like after Goku sacrifices himself. Yeah, after Goku sacrifices himself, then maybe, you know, he gets extra stats, you know, because, you know, his dad died or whatever. Like, you could do whatever you want, but I think some form of just Super Saiyan Gohan that does not go Super Saiyan 2, maybe an active skill for Super Saiyan 2, but he does not transform himself, okay? He has his Bye Guys Goku mechanic where if you're about to take a KO hit, Goku comes in, teleports the enemy away, you regen some HP, he, you know, does whatever he needs to do, you know, gets stronger, whatever the case is, and then active skill into one of the strongest attacks in the game, which would be the Super Saiyan 2 one-handed Kamehameha. That's just my opinion there. And then my fifth idea here, this is straying a little bit away from what I believe is possible, but I still think there is some merit here. Like, Trunks is someone who is future Trunks, sorry, is obviously someone who is heavily tied to the androids, right? You know, the characters that, I don't know, got an easy A here. Not only that, but he is also Dragon Ball Super, like we have here as well. Like he low-key fits, you know. I wouldn't consider him fitting to be a stretch. He definitely fits. Not only that, we don't have this specific. Do we? Maybe I missed it. Let me type in Trunks again. We don't have that specific Trunks really represented in the game. We have this free-to-play Trunks, which is the one I pulled up. We have this banner unit Trunks, but doesn't really count. This Trunks, I guess, counts, but not really, because this is from the moment where he was killing Zamasu, not necessarily the moment he got really, really upset, and, you know, the rage Trunks, as we call him. And then, yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like there's been another variation of him. So it's like, I would love for this guy to be, offensively at least, one of the strongest characters in the game, because when he first appeared in the anime, I remember that. When he first appeared, I was like, damn, wait, this guy looks absolutely sick. Like, hello? Like, you just got aura from him. So if he dropped and for the first few turns he was just the best character in the game, and then maybe he died off just a little bit, or whatever. Again, I'm not here to really debate how they would build him, but I think it would be really cool to see Trunks in this specific form, like from this specific moment, have an LR and be just one of the most dominating characters in the game, or I guess I should say the most dominant character in the game for X amount of turns, or until the anniversary characters arrive, you know. All right, and then I think he would be best leading Revenge. I was thinking, you know, he could probably lead Exploding Rage, but we just got an Exploding Rage leader in the Tech Broly, so, you know, 200% leads for that category when there are others that could use it, like Revenge here. I think would definitely help. And then my last option here, of course, this is the Extreme Class option. I would love an LR second form cell who led Power Absorption, right? And he then absorbed the last android, of course, Android 18, in order to become Perfect Form Cell. That is something we still need in this game. It's something we, for whatever reason, do not have. If I type in Cell here instead of Trunks, you will see that we have the Dokkan Fest EZA Cell, the Dokkan Fest Cell right here. We have so many versions of Cell, LR First Form Cell. We have also an LR Perfect Cell. So it's like, if we have Perfect Form Cell as an LR, First Form Cell as an LR, where is Second Form Cell as an LR? Second Form Cell doesn't really have a lot of love. The only love that I remember him having is this banner unit. And then, again, obviously this guy, he got an EZA, I guess, somewhat recently. But wait, when was his EZA actually? Yeah, kind of recently. Yeah, with all the other, you know, type units. But that's really it. And for a villain of Cell's size, the last thing we need is just another perfect Cell, you know, or perfect form Cell. I think starting this guy off as second form Cell would give that specific form more love. They could make the art look really, really nice if they wanted to, and then, you know, maybe for the first 5 turns, this Cell's like really tanky or something, or, you know, maybe he greatly stacked for a few turns up until like turn 5 or something, and then turn 5 he would just, you know, it'd be cool, low key. No, never mind. But yeah, with active skill transformation, whatever you want to have it as, and then he again absorbs 18, turns into perfect Cell, and then, you know, ends up being one of the better units in the game. I would love for whatever Carnival unit to come out to be a really, really good unit. Not necessarily on Goma's level, but I mean, why not, right? I guess why really not? Something that isn't actually going to just be fodder. Like, I want something impactful, you know? Because I low-key would be down to summon. I mean, I'm grinding a lot of stones on my account right now, and maybe I definitely should be saving for Anniversary, and I most likely will save for Anniversary. I don't think there's really anything they could drop that would actually make me really summon. But with this new account recently, all I've been wanting to do, dude, is just summon, and I really need to lock it and save, and so do you. Because when I start streaming and I say, hop into the stream, if you have less than 1 dragon, so there's 30 people of you, and there's 30 people right away hopping in, that's a problem. Alright? We all need to be saving Dragonstone, so please, please, please do that. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed. What do you want to see drop as part 2 for this celebration? I finally got around to recording and making this video. I can't wait to see what it is. If I'm available when it drops, I will definitely let you know. Hopefully, I will be available for that, so stay tuned. Merry Christmas, Happy Halloween, and I'll see you in the next one.